What is up, everyone? Movie Wayne back again with another top 10 list. This is going to be my 10 favourite action movies. Now, I'm not saying these are the best action movies ever made. They're just personal favourites to me that I rewatch all the time, or when I was a kid, and still to this day. Now, if you've been on this channel for a while, you'll know that my favourite genre is horror. But growing up, my mum and dad didn't really want me to watch horror until I was a little bit older, but they did allow me to watch action movies, even the adult ones, so I was always alright to watch them, and I grew up with action movies, you know, in the 90s, more than any other genre, so I just wanted to do my top 10 ones that mean something to me. Now, to identify the action genre is a little hard these days because you've got Marvel movies, which I consider comic book films. I wouldn't really include any of them in here. And you'd also have like sci-fi movies with bits of action in. And I saw some movies there that I haven't included, like RoboCop and Aliens. There are bits of action in their movies, but I just didn't feel right putting them in this list because I've gone for full-blown action here. Now, there are a few movies in here that do have bits of sci-fi, you know, strong sci-fi elements and stuff, but there is a lot of action too, so I consider them full-blown action movies. But before I get onto the top 10, guys, just 3 honourable mentions that I just wanted to name that I just couldn't quite fit in the top 10. Okay, guys, 3 honourable mentions are Commando, a super fun action movie from the 1980s with Arnold Schwarzenegger just blasting people left, right and centre, takes on an army of 500 people at the end, with lots of great quotes. Quite a cheesy film, but I had a lot of fun with it. Point Break is another great movie with, you know, bank robberies and stuff. These surfers committing bank robberies with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. It's a really, really fun action film. They even jump out of a plane at one point. Keanu Reeves jumps out without a parachute. And the other one is The Last Action Hero. Just couldn't quite squeeze that one in, but I have used to watch that all the time as a kid, and I have a lot of fun with that movie. There's lots of fun scenes in that. But they're my honourable mentions, guys, so let's just get on with the top 10. Number 10 is going to be Broken Arrow, a movie directed by John Woo, who was quite big in the 90s for directing great action movies. There's another one of his films on this list, by the way. And this follows John Travolta, who wants to steal some nuclear warheads, and Christian Slater and this park ranger are out to stop him. And it basically takes place in Western America in this massive outback by this canyon. I don't know if it's the Grand Canyon, I'm not really sure. But there's a scene where we go down this mine, and Christian Slater is tied up with this park ranger. He's got 20 minutes to get out, and it's really tense to watch. And when the explosion happens, that makes quite a racket. It's a massive explosion on screen. And at the end, we do have a brilliant train sequence where Christian Slater is on the train trying to stop John Travolta and his gang. And it's just a really cool scene, you know. I really like watching the train going through this massive outback in the middle of nowhere. It's just great to watch. And this got quite some mixed reviews when it came out. Some really bad ones, actually, I remember seeing. But I always have a fun time with this film. I've watched it numerous times, about 20 times, I think. And I could still pick this up and watch it right now. So number 10 is Broken Arrow. Number 9 is going to be Starship Troopers. Yes, this is very heavily sci-fi focused, but there's so much action in this film. You know, Paul Verhoeven is one of my favourite directors, and this is probably my second favourite film by him. Obviously, RoboCop is the first. But there's just so many great battles in this with the aliens, you know, and some violent battles as well. There's limbs being torn off left, right and centre by these massive arachnids. And even the training sequences in this are quite fun to watch, actually. You know, where they're training to take on these bugs. They're really cool to watch, you know. Some great little things happening there with the training. It's quite a fun vibe going on. And just so many great characters. But there's also a scene where Johnny Rico, our main character, climbs aboard this massive bug and has to throw a grenade down it. And there's just splatter all over the screen. It's great to watch. And let's not forget that brain-eating bug at the end. So number 9 is just a really fun movie, Starship Troopers. Number 8 is going to be Die Hard, a movie many consider to maybe be the best action movie of all time. And that's a fair point. It's just not one that I go to more than the 7 above it, but I do rewatch it quite a lot, and it's still one of my favourite action movies ever, and one of the best movies I've ever seen, to be honest. And it just sees John McClane taking on lots of terrorists. It's just machine guns ahoy, bullets flying everywhere, and these terrorists are trying to take over the building. It's up to John McClane, one of cinema's greatest heroes, to stop them. And I just think there's loads of great action sequences here. You know, John McClane has got to go through elevator shafts and stuff to get where he wants. He's running around with no shoes on, there's glass everywhere. And at one point he even takes on terrorists on the rooftop, and he thinks he's finally, you know, sort of getting his way in the battle, and a big helicopter comes and takes him on as well. So he has to take on a helicopter at the top of this skyscraper. It's just a really, really fun action movie. You know, and everyone's seen Die Hard, haven't you? If you haven't, definitely go and watch it. Number 8 is Die Hard. Number 7 is going to be Put the Money Back in the Box. Yes, Con Air, a movie full of great characters. You know, John Malkovich playing the saddest of baddest. We've got Ving Rhames in there. But Nicolas Cage really is the standout here. I love the way he's just a smart-ass character. You know, always being sarcastic and stuff. But there's some great action scenes in this movie. Basically, Nicolas Cage taking on all these terrorists on a plane. It's basically like Die Hard on a plane, maybe you could say that. And I love the scene at Lunar Airfield, you know, where the terrorists just coming together with their plan. And, you know, we've got, obviously, there's Nicolas Cage fighting all these characters on the plane, and the plane's about to crash and stuff. And, obviously, the plane landing in Las Vegas, and the big chase scene at the end on the motorbikes. It's just a really, really good, fun 90s action movie. And I don't really know many people who dislike this film. It's just one of them you can go to all the time and just have a fun time with. So number 7 is Con Air. Number 6 is going to be Demolition Man. You didn't think I'd do a top 10 action movie list without Sylvester Stallone, did you? And we are thrown straight into the action here. It takes place in the 90s, and Phoenix, the villain in this movie, and Sylvester Stallone's character, John Spartan, are then frozen and then unfrozen about 30 years later into the future, where nothing bad is allowed to happen. You're not even allowed to swear and stuff. And these two just wreak havoc across the city of Los Angeles. And, you know, there's a museum scene in this, which is just fantastic. I love the scene where Sylvester Stallone is about to electrocute the water that Simon Phoenix is standing in, and he just says, "You're going to regret this for the rest of your life." Both seconds of it. Just such a great quote, that. And we also have a great fight scene at the end, but there's just loads of, you know, just cool sequences happening in this film. Simon Phoenix is one of my favourite villains ever. I think I put him in my honourable mentions and my top 10 movie villains of all time. And apparently Demolition Man 2 is in the works. I don't know how that's going to work without Simon Phoenix, to be honest, but we'll see. So number 6 is Demolition Man. Number 5 is going to be The Matrix. Yes, a very heavily sci-fi focused film, but with plenty of action to call it an action movie. Keanu Reeves is absolutely fantastic as Neo in this film, but the film's got a great mix of characters, and we're thrown right into the opening scene with Trinity running away from these agents and stuff. And, you know, there's just so many great scenes in this movie where Keanu Reeves is just kicking people's ass. You know, the part where they walk into the lobby, him and Trinity, and just take on all these officers with these guns, and they're doing cartwheels with the machine guns and stuff. And then they get on the building, and one of the most cinematic, you know, best moments in cinematic history, I feel, one of the most memorable anyway, is where Neo does the bullet dodge, and he's just lying backwards. I'm trying to do it in my chair, and I'm really failing at that. But it's just a brilliant movie. You know, you got the train sequence at the end where he's fighting the agent, and, you know, they're just uppercutting people into ceilings and stuff. And I always love that bit where, you know, Neo punches him and just misses, and then opens his hand to go into his throat. I just think that's a brilliant little, clever little second of the movie there. So number 5, guys, is The Matrix. Number 4, guys, is going to be another movie by John Woo, and that is Face Off. Two wacky characters here, Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, going at it, and they swap faces and have to play two totally different characters, which is kudos to them. They done really well there, playing the two different characters, and they really do pull it off. And I just love the first 20 minutes of this movie where, you know, Nicolas Cage is trying to take off in the jet, and John Travolta's trying to stop him with the helicopter, playing chicken with the jet and the Jeep. It's just really, really good to watch. And, you know, it's just a movie I used to watch constantly on VHS all the time. You know, It's just a really fun film. There's lots of great shootouts, and who can forget the boat chase scene at the end where they're both on the speedboats? Okay, you can see the stuntmen in there, but it's still a fantastic film by John Woo. I had to mention Face Off in the top 10 action films. A lot of people love this movie. Like Con Air sort of reminds me of, where one of them action movies from the 90s you can just go and watch and have fun with. Number 4 is Face Off. Number 3 is going to be Die Hard with a Vengeance. John McTiernan returns to direct the third one in this movie, and I do feel that 1 and 3 are the best. 1 is probably the better overall movie, but 3 is the one that I go to watch when I want to watch a Die Hard film. I think it's because of the chemistry between Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis. I just think it's really fun to watch these two characters going at each other all the way through the film, but they also have to work together. And there's a really fun sequence where Bruce Willis is driving the taxi and he has to get to the train in 30 minutes through the New York traffic, and Samuel L. Jackson is just scared for his life. And you know, I just love watching these two going around New York having to disarm these bombs. And you know, when Bruce Willis actually gets on the train, he throws the bomb off with seconds to go and there's a big explosion. There's explosions everywhere in this film. And you know, you've got the aqueduct scene where Bruce Willis has to get out with all this water coming at him. It's kind of like an Indiana Jones, where the water's chasing him and he has to get out. But you know, John McClane always finds a way, doesn't he? And we also have, you know, the boat scene at the end where the two characters are tied up and they have to make it off in time, unlock the lock with the pin. And I just think it's a brilliant film. I really, really have fun with Die Hard with a Vengeance, and a lot of people actually do think this is a better film, actually. I'm not sure about that, but it's definitely the most rewatchable in the franchise to me. Number 3 is Die Hard with a Vengeance. Number 2 is going to be one of my most watched movies of all time, and that is Speed. I fell in love with this movie when I was younger. I used to constantly watch it. I can still watch it right now. I could go and throw this movie on now and just be amazed by it. I just love Keanu Reeves in this film. He is great as Neo in The Matrix, but for me, this is my favourite role, where he is Jack Traven, to be honest. I just prefer him. I just think he's a cool-ass character. And we've got the elevator scene at the start with all these people in the elevator, and him and Jeff Daniels' character have got to go and rescue these people in the elevator. And then it moves on to the bomber putting a bomb on a bus, and the bus cannot slow down below 50 miles an hour. So you're always going to be in intense situations on that bus. But I love it when he's trying to actually get on the bus and he uses that guy with the Jaguar. And he says, the guy is so pissed off that he's robbed his car. And he says, I need to take your phone. And he just goes, take the phone. He doesn't even care about his phone. He just wants his car back. And I love it when he's trying to jump on the bus and stuff. How can you forget the freeway jump? You know, that is such a tense scene. Even watching it today, after watching this movie 100 times. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating there, guys. You know, I still feel tense watching that. And of course, the action doesn't stop when we get off the bus. There is the train sequence where he's fighting Dennis Hopper on the roof of the train. It's just a brilliant action movie. You know, I had to put Speed. It was very, very close, but my number 1, I think you will understand. But number 2 is Speed. Number 1, guys, is going to be Terminator 2. If you haven't guessed it already, yes. James Cameron gave us a horror, sci-fi, slasher type movie in the first one. But this one is definitely more action focused with sci-fi elements, of course. And there's just so many great scenes in this film. The bike chase where Arnold's trying to protect John with the T-1000 in pursuit in this big lorry. It's just really, really terrifying to watch, but great to watch as well. Arnold going off the top, doing that jump. It's brilliant. And we also have Sarah's escape from the mental institution and the T-1000 taking chase after that. And he's on top of the elevator shaft as well, of course. You know, while she's trying to escape. The Cyberdyne building, which is probably my favourite 20 minutes of the movie. That and the chase afterwards, where Arnold's taking on all the cops with the minigun. But the chase afterwards really, you know, I watched that scene now and still can't believe how they pulled that off. There's a part where a helicopter just follows them under a tunnel. And Charles A. Tumbero is the stuntman who done that. And I just want to say, that guy has got balls. And not only once did he do it, he had to do it twice. Because James Cameron needed 2 different angle shots. it's just incredible to watch. It really is. And you know, even the part afterwards where another bridge comes and he just goes over it and straight back down, it's just brilliant. It really is. And the best action movie of all time, in my opinion. Simple as that. In my top 25 greatest movies of all time, this actually came third. So I love Terminator 2. So number one is Terminator 2, guys. Okay, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this top 10 favourite action movies. It's just my personal list, you know. I'm not saying that the 10 best. It's just my personal list that I watch over and over again. Hope you all enjoyed it, guys. If you've got any ideas for the top 10, let me know down below. I'll reply to you all, I promise. And if you want to subscribe, it's up to yourself. Take it all easy, guys. And I'll see you all in the next video.